Thank you everybody for joining and welcome to the award ceremony for the 2021 Renewable Transformation Challenge. My name's Adam Fraser and I'm the Senior Publisher for Renewable and Sustainable Energy Journals at Elsevier and work on journals such as Solar Energy and Solar Energy Advances, as well as being on the project team for the Renewable Transformation Challenge. So thank you everybody for joining us today. To talk you through what we're going to have on the agenda, I'll be getting things kicked off before I pass on to several speakers, as well as to hear directly from the winner of the challenge. So I'll firstly be passing over to Peter Harrison, who's the Senior Vice President for Physical Sciences Journals at Elsevier. We'll be hearing from Klaus Vahen, who's the ISES President, and we'll also be hearing from David Rene, who's ISES Immediate Past President, and also was lead judge for the RTC this year. And Dave will be presenting the RTC winner, which we'll all be very interested to hear a bit about them and their work. So just some housekeeping points here. If you could please use the Q&A function if you have any questions for either the winner or any of the people that I already mentioned, then please do add them there. And at the end of the session, we'll be able to answer some of those questions. So yeah, please do use that function there and we'll be able to get those questions answered. We'll probably bundle them up towards the end because we've got a lot to get through, so that would be great. All right, without any further ado, I will pass over to Peter, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the RTC and how this fits in with the work at Elsevier. So Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Adam. And just checking that this presentation is coming through and that everyone can see this.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So thank you, Adam, and thank you to the International Solar Energy Society for arranging this event and inviting me to help to introduce this important award. Like many of you, I've spent a lot of time recently following the COP26 conference in Glasgow. And I'm sure that while many may have some mixed feelings about the overall rate of progress, I still feel really hopeful and optimistic about the process of bringing the world together to take action on climate change. And that really brings me on to the topic for our discussion today, the Renewable Transformation Challenge, which highlights so well, I think, the commitment, the expertise, and the knowledge of so many groups across the world in addressing these challenges and opportunities, and working towards a world that is powered by renewable energy and accessible energy for all. Before I talk a little bit more about some of the previous winners of the Renewable Transformation Challenge, I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes sharing with you some of the other activities that Elsevier has been undertaking in support of sustainability and the Sustainable Development Goals. Firstly, I'd like to say that we've been proud to sign, together with our parent company RELX, the Climate Pledge in July of this year to become a net zero organization by 2040 at the latest. So we're currently working through what that means in terms of our business, our relationships with our suppliers, our activities as employees. There's a lot that we need to work through and learn, but we're really delighted and excited to be embarking upon this journey to become a net zero organization by 2040, if not before. Over the last month, we've also released a report, Pathways to Net Zero, the Impact of Clean Energy Research. And this report is really, has been undertaken to provide an updated overview of progress in research across topic areas related to net zero. And we've really done this to use it as a starting point for further dialogue and conversation with stakeholders in this area, those involved in research, in innovation, in funding and policy making. And we really hope that will be a helpful springboard to further discussions around this important topic area. We've also recently established a climate advisory board for Elsevier. That's a group of international experts who will help to guide and advise us around the various activities, actions, and initiatives that we need to undertake as an organization. So I hope that some of these examples help to share with you some of the more general activities that we are undertaking. And of course, we wish to continue to work with the global research community to address the challenges raised by the climate emergency. If I move on now to talk a little bit more about the Renewable Transformation Challenge. And the challenge was launched back in 2017 to support the aims you see on the slide here, to encourage progress towards a world powered by renewable energy and with accessible energy for all. The challenge has been awarded every 2 years, and to recognize accomplishments by a wide range of organizations, including private enterprises, NGOs, research and academic institutions. And the award also supports research in the various fields that relate to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, in particular the SDG around clean and affordable energy for all, and the SDG around climate action. The collaboration between the International Solar Energy Society and Elsevier has been undertaken for some years, and part of that collaboration is around our journal partnership and the partnership with Jet Solar Energy, and I'm delighted to say that partnership is now expanded and extended with also the launch last year of a new journal, Solar Energy Advances, a new open access journal in this field that's focusing on solar energy research, development, applications, and the impact that that has on sustainable development, climate change and resilience, and the circular economy. These journals continue to provide really valuable information sources for researchers working in the community, and they've also helped provide the developmental roadmap and information for previous winners of this award. So I'm going to move on now just to talk about those previous winners. Back in 2017, Sebastian Groh's team at Measleshare were awarded the inaugural Challenge Prize. And since then, this group have installed over 100 P2B solar microgrids, providing power for over 5,000 homes and businesses. So a really significant impact that that group has had. Their business has also expanded into new areas. They have now set up their very first e-rickshaw charging station in Panchagore. And that, of course, is helping rickshaw drivers transition away from fossil fuels. So the work of Measleshare is a really great example of how the energy transformation can continue to bring improvements across many areas of life, from medical care through to transportation. The winner in 2019, Sunspot, were awarded for their work to help to bring cooking facilities using clean solar energy to people who really need it. There are more than 3 billion people across the world who are still dependent on basic biomass fuels like wood or dung for cooking. And that, of course, does have significant negative impacts on their health and also on the environment. The Sunspot solar cooking systems, which have been installed from countries from Uganda across to Haiti, reduce those carbon emissions and also alleviate the pressures on the local forests. And by using these clean cooking stoves, the people most directly involved in the cooking, of course, no longer have to breathe in the toxic smoke that arises from these basic biomass fires. It also frees up the time that those families use in collecting the fuel, which then enables them to spend more time in education or working to support themselves financially. So there, I think Sunspot demonstrates really powerfully the link between social justice, energy access, and addressing the challenges of climate change. So I hope that's been helpful just as a quick overview, and I'd like to finish with a number of thank yous. Thank you to the Renewable Transformation team, to the International Solar Energy Society, to all of the judges, the jury members, and the project team, and of course, all of those who sent in their applications. Really looking forward to learning more about the winner of this year's challenge, and I look forward to the next few presentations. So thank you to all of you, and Adam, I will now hand back to you. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you, Peter. And now I'll pass over to Klaus, the president of ISES, who will be talking in his capacity as president. Can we see you, Klaus? Great, thank you. And we can hear you as well, thanks.
Yeah, that's perfect. Can you see the correct screen? me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Yeah, ISES, for those who do not know yet, is it was founded in 1954 and has individual and corporate members in all over the world. It is an accredited NGO at the United Nations since 1992, and is among several areas of work where ISES is active. One is science, and here comes also, as Peter already mentioned, the connection of ISES and Elsevier, because the scientific journals which are issued by ISES, so Solar Energy and the new Solar Energy Advances, there Elsevier acts as a publisher, and so it stood to reason to cooperate also from science and go into implementation. And this is the sense of the Renewable Transformation Challenge, which we also conduct together, ISES and Elsevier. And ISES is very happy to working with Elsevier on this important initiative. The challenge provides a significant incentive to organizations, research institutions, and businesses working to provide innovative and applicable real-world solutions using renewable energy all around the world. The challenge supports solutions that lead to a 100% renewable energy future, and that's the ISES vision. And we are very pleased that the challenge is attracting innovative applications that aim to contribute to this vision. The Renewable Transformation Challenge rewards initiatives or business and program that demonstrate this innovative and replicable use of technologies, solutions, and measures. And since the launch of the RTC in 2017, we have seen hundreds of applications from all around the world, and one was more interesting than the other. And especially this year's top 10 applications reflects really amazing work being done by organizations, business and research institutes to address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. So the RTC aims not just to honor winners out of many excellent applications, but also by this highlight the many programs that help move the world towards an energy system supplied entirely by renewable energy sources. And as the president of ISES, a member of the jury and judge of the RTC 21, I'm very impressed by the level of commitment and innovation of these applications. And it was inspiring to see real-world projects that utilize solar energy as the most reliable and affordable energy source. I look forward to seeing how many of these ideas will be implemented further and on a large scale also in the near future. And furthermore, ISES aims at to combine the RTC even closer to the other ISES work, because we have launched an initiative recently. It's called INCOR. It's an abbreviation for International Cooperation in Renewable Energies, and INCOR aims to accelerate and increase the international cooperation and the exchange of knowledge and ideas, especially also across the economic borders, so between developed and developing countries, for example. And you can see more information here, and under this link you can also register there. And so far we have been in the test phase. This was mainly with professors and students who were connected all around the world, but only to a minor extent. But Anchor was officially launched at the Solar World Congress some weeks ago in October. And now we are on the way to found an additional category beside advisors and students, just to launch the support of initiatives and businesses, because that's of similar importance. And we are sure that several of the finalists will be able or will be willing to support these initiatives as experts to help young entrepreneurs to overcome their maybe their problems or the first problems when they launch their business or their initiative. So can I only say, if not yet, I can only recommend to be part or get part of this great society. And so I'd like to hand over back to Adam. Thank you for your attention.
Great, thank you, Klaus. And I'm going to now pass over to Dave, who's going to talk about this year's prize. Dave, yeah, great. We can see your screen. So,
all right. Thank you very much, Adam, for having me here, and Klaus, thank you for your introductory comments. Those are a really good prelude to what I'm going to talk about here, which is the actual process for selecting the winner and then announcing the winner here. So the transformation challenge in 2021 resulted in 87 applications that came in. We had a phase 1 and phase 2 reviews where 53 of the applications were advanced to the jury members. We had 27 international experts chosen from ISES and Elsevier serving as jury members. And each juror reviewed 2 applications and scored them based on these criteria. First of all, of course, we wanted the proposals to demonstrate that the application supports a transformation to 100% renewable energy. And very important is to the degree of replicability, scalability, and sustainability that these applications would provide. We really are looking for innovative technologies. I think Klaus demonstrated that very well, where we want to transition from R&D and innovation in the science to new ideas or concepts that can be given that can be commercially successful. And so we really look for those projects that would have innovation going more than just for incremental improvements, but rather for commercial success. And the projects should have clear applicability and a demonstration of impact in the communities that the projects are taking place. And did the application have a feasible implementation plan? And of course, we're particularly looking for suitability of the applications in developing countries. As part of the energy transformation that we're taking place, of course, we want energy access to all. There's still nearly 1 billion people in parts of the world that have no access to reliable electricity sources or clean energy sources in general. And so we are really looking for the impact on developing countries and especially the social impact on local communities. So those are the evaluation criteria. After going through the juror evaluations, we came up with the top 10 applications that were then submitted to a judging committee, which consisted of 7 representatives from ISES and Elsevier. Each judge reviewed all 10 applications, and then there's a selection of a winner during a meeting of all of the judges just in the last week or so. So here are the top 10 applications. I'm presenting them here in order of the alphabetization of the country that submitted the application. So the first one was Captivist solar energy storage for the agri-food sector. Well, first of all, let me just summarize that the top 10 applications fell into a few major categories. One that we saw quite regularly was healthcare and off-grid settings, especially because of the COVID-19 recovery. These we got a number of very good applications that would provide healthcare services in off-grid communities. There were a number of applications that looked at cooling technologies, especially for agricultural purposes, and to improve agricultural productivity and to reduce waste. There is a number of proposals for solar business capacity building. In other words, providing training programs and establishing trained experts to work in communities to install solar systems. We had a few very interesting proposals on recycling programs and one proposal on net zero emissions for fuels for aviation. So starting with number one, the captive solar energy for the agricultural food sector. This is a project that develops, implements, and operates integrated solar energy system solutions for providing food processing and electricity. And this is currently targeted for the agricultural sector in Uganda. The second proposal from France, make refrigeration affordable and accessible to all. This is a CoolBooks technology. CoolBooks has created the Cool Home, which is a pay-as-you-go solar-powered refrigerator that also provides lighting services and USB ports for phone charging and other computer applications. And this proposal or application also specifically targets the sub-Saharan African market. The third proposal, called I Lit My Community, was submitted by eCycle in the country of Ghana. This is eCycle is an NGO, and the project aims to build capacity in helping youth to think through and design solutions in electronic waste recycling, turning this waste into power, storage, security, cooling, and sound systems, and particularly in off-grid communities. So this is an important recycling proposal that we received. Number four, Solar Freeze from Kenya. This is a company that's a pioneer in solar-powered cold storage products and services for the storage of food and medical products and temperature-sensitive vaccines. And the goal of this application was to help off-grid and weak grid communities access reliable, low-cost, and effective cold storage solutions. Number five, Sunshine for All. It's a circularity on PV to 100% renewables. Was submitted in Mexico. Again, this is a recycling proposal, implementing a transformative circular economy in the photovoltaic supply chain in Mexico by addressing issues of PV waste and recycling. The next one on the list, number six, is cold box storage, submitted by Manamus Electric from Nigeria. And cold box storage is an efficient walk-in commercial refrigeration solution that's able to store up to 15 tons of fruits and vegetables at a time using one solar-powered compressor for pre-cooling and for cold storage. Number seven, is cooling as a service, another cooling proposal from Switzerland. It's an innovative business model that aims to make energy-efficient cooling more competitive and affordable by enabling customers to outsource cooling services rather than investing in the equipment. And again, this proposal was targeting African communities. Proposal number eight, also from Switzerland, what's called Sun to Liquid, providing solar power or solar developed liquid hydrocarbon fuels. This is a technology designed to transform the aviation sector, aviation energy based to 100% renewable drop-in fuels, and thus minimize the carbon footprint of the aviation sector at the global scale. And the technology makes use of a thermochemical redox cycle driven by concentrated solar energy. Number nine is a proposal harnessing solar energy in Yemen, submitted by a group in ITDC based in United Arab Emirates. This program focuses on helping Yemenis harness the significant solar energy available in their country by equipping rural communities with needed technical knowledge, practical experience, and hands-on skills. And the 10th proposal from the United States, called Light Every Birth. It's a We Care solar suitcase for medical services. It provides health centers throughout Africa with reliable power for medical lighting, emergency communication, and medical devices, and creates an enabling environment to underserved health centers and facilitating timely, safe, and appropriate emergency obstetric care and improving childbirth outcomes for mothers and newborns. So these were the top 10. As you can see, it was a challenge for the judges to have to make a decision, because these are all very outstanding proposals that had a combination of good use of innovative technologies as well as business planning. And so now what I would like to do is announce the winner. And the winner is Cold Box Storage from Nigeria. We were very impressed not only with the technology integrating a number of systems using solar power to provide services for up to 15 tons of fruits and vegetables to be stored at a time. And what's very important about this is that it really eliminates a significant amount of food waste that occurs in markets throughout countries that have limited access to cooling services. And the developer of this application, I'm very pleased to present here, Uzochukwu Imbamalu, who will give us now a presentation about his organization and about Cold Box Store. So I'm very pleased to turn this presentation back over now directly to Uzo, and look forward to hearing from you. And congratulations to Uzo and to all of the submitters and the top 10 finalists in this exciting event. So has my screen been sharing stopped?
It has. Thank you, Dave. And Uzo, congratulations. Over to you. If you could turn on your video and unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks, Dave.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me and see my screen?
Yes, we can hear you, and we can see your desktop.
Okay.
And your slides. Thank you.
Okay. Hello everyone. Winning this award is a very big honor, and I'm excited to be here. My name is Uzochukwu Mbamalu. You can call me Uzo, and I am speaking to you from Enugu State, Nigeria. So the Cold Box Store is a temperature-controlled supply chain that is powered by the sun. So you can check out more about our projects on our social media, our Cold Box Store on Twitter, Instagram, and you can also check out the website coldboxstore.com to find out about what we're building. Thank you so much to the organizers of this award. It's a very big honor to win this award, and I'm super excited. I'm still trying to catch my breath. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's why we are building the Cold Box Store. Our food systems are broken. 80% of the food we consume is produced by smallholder farmers, and most of these farmers live in rural communities. These rural communities struggle with electricity access. Hence, these farmers lose up to 55% of their harvests to post-harvest losses that are preventable. So when you think of the fact that people lose up to 55% of their harvests, but they are still farmers, they still do farming for a living, you realize that they are still making some significant profit to be able to take care of themselves and take care of their families, even with losing up to 55% of their harvests. Imagine what would happen if we use technology to solve this problem, where they're able to harness 100% of their harvests, generate revenue from 100% of their harvests, and be able to make sure that their harvests get to the end consumer at the expected quality. Because as you can see from the picture on the left of my screen, that's me at the tomato market here in Enugu State, Nigeria, where the tomato sellers are trying to sell their tomatoes, and essentially they have 48 hours to sell off their produce, or it's wasted. So anything they are unable to sell in 48 hours, it's wasted, and they have to get new produce. This shouldn't be. So that we decided to try and fix this problem. And we realized that we could fix this problem with cold storage. And unfortunately, cold storage comes with the challenge. 90% of the operational operational costs for conventional cold storage solutions usually goes to electricity costs. So most of these farmers or vendors in open markets are unable to afford the electricity required to operate cold storage solutions. So they just take their chances with what they can sell in 48 hours, waste the rest, and get new produce. So we decided to build Africa's largest network of solar-powered cold storage solutions. And it's been an exciting journey figuring out how to make this possible. So here's the opportunity. Africa sold 500 million tons of fresh produce in 2018. Only 3% is refrigerated at the source versus 94% in Europe. By developing a network of first-mile cooling and distribution centers, we could generate over 50 billion USD per year additional revenue by increasing saleable volumes and value per ton at the same production level. Essentially, we don't even need to increase agricultural production. We just need to eliminate waste in Africa and generate over 50 billion USD additional revenue. So that's why we started building the cold box store solution. It's a cooling and distribution center that increases the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, such as tomato, from 48 hours to over 3 weeks. What this means is farmers and vendors have time to sell more. So the farmers and vendors are losing up to 55% of their harvests because they struggle to sell within 48 hours. So whatever they are unable to sell within 48 hours, sometimes they are forced to crash. They are forced to crash the prices of their produce just so that they can sell. Let me give you an instance that's currently happening in where I live, here in Enugu State, Nigeria. A 25 kg crate of tomatoes in Enugu State, Nigeria, where I live, currently costs about 12,000 naira. Last week it was 6,000 naira. That is half the cost of the present cost, and that's basically because last week there was so much harvest, farmers had to crash their prices just so they can sell to avoid the produce being wasted. So imagine if you're able to build a solution that when the produce is stored, in that solution, you're able to have more time to sell, up to 3 weeks, up to 1 month. What that means is you're not in a hurry to sell, and you can maintain your prices that makes you profitable and without losing any of your harvest. That is basically the idea behind the cold box store. And the thing is, most perishable agricultural products, such as the tomato, which is what we are currently focused on, are temperature sensitive. And for you to increase the shelf life, you need to store it at the right temperature. Unfortunately, cold storage solutions are typically non-existent in developing countries, and the core reason is electricity. So if we can fix the electricity costs and make cold storage solutions highly efficient, then we stand a chance at solving the problem of our inefficient and unreliable food systems in developing economies. So here's a visualization of what we are trying to achieve. So we have lots of farmers. We have the poultry farmers, we have the fish farmers, we have the livestock farmers, we have the fruit and vegetable farmers. So they bring their produce to us. We do processing. We help them with processing and sorting to make sure that only the high quality produce gets into our supply chain. Then from our storage facility, we now list the inventory of what we have in our storage facilities to people in high value markets. People in high value markets can now order the high quality produce that we stored in our facilities. And our facilities can now transport from our storage facilities to wherever the high value markets are. We focus on our primary customers are the e-commerce businesses, the offline retail customers, and of course the restaurants, caterers, hotels, agribusinesses in general. So technical sustainability, for us to achieve this was a little this took a lot of work for us to make this sustainable, because commercial cold storage solutions draw a lot of electricity. It is I think research has it that a significant amount of electricity consumed globally goes to cooling. I think it's up to 90% of electricity consumed globally goes to cooling. So cooling is a major consumer of electricity in the world. So for you to be able to power cooling sustainably and still make it economic, cost effective, and let it make economic sense, energy efficiency has to be the forefront of whatever you're doing. So before you decide to power commercial cold storage solutions with solar, you have to make sure it's highly energy efficient. So we basically spent the whole of 2020, it was a pandemic year, so we were just in the workshop doing lots of research on trying to build efficient cold storage solutions. So we leverage existing technologies such as VFD compressors. VFD refers to variable frequency drives. Variable frequency drives allow you to eliminate the high starting current of the compressors and also be able to control the compressor speed. Thermostats that help you cut off the compressor energy consumption when it cools a cooling facility to the expected temperature. Passive cooling allows you to leverage cold thermal storage and high performance insulation to maintain the required temperature for your produce. Thermal paints, thanks to our partners G Cover, we were able to meet some partners G Cover. I think our partners G Cover, they're a company based in Mexico who were able to introduce us to thermal paints, and they built really high quality thermal paints that helps us maintain the temperature for a long time and reduce energy consumption. And of course, the high performance insulation, that's when we use polyurethane foam to ensure that when we cool fresh produce to a particular temperature, the temperature is maintained. Then of course we have off-grid solar. The cold storage solutions we build in there's no grid, there's no generators, it's 100% solar powered. So yeah, the picture by the right you can see is a 7.7 kilowatt solar array that's deployed in our pilot project, which we deployed here in Enugu State, Nigeria, in a fruit and vegetable market. And of course, there's the battery storage that stores the electricity when there's no sun. It basically runs the facility all night. Then optional cold thermal energy storage is basically an ice bank. The ice bank is a phase change material that helps us maintain temperature without having to rely on the batteries or the solar panels. Of course, the solar panels charge the cold thermal storage. Then the cold thermal storage power the facility. Then if you deplete the cold thermal storage and there's still no sun, it then switches to the batteries. So for this project to be sustainable, it has to be making money. So for it to make money, we had two approaches to making money: cold chain logistics as a service and distribution as a service. Cold chain logistics as a service, basically farmers pay us to use our cold chain infrastructure. They do not need to own the infrastructure, and their knowledge that they would make more money by relying on our facilities encourages them to pay. Then distribution as a service, our business is customer facing. Everybody knows that we work a lot with farmers. So agri-businesses, e-commerce businesses, everybody who needs the produce produced by these farmers would be coming to us to tell them, can we connect them to farmers? So we do that and we charge a commission for it. That way the business keeps making money, is sustainable, and a business that is sustainable and making revenue can never fail. Impact. First mile cold storage is a major requirement to increase shelf life of perishable agricultural products and eliminate post-harvest losses. For most perishable goods, every 4 hours outside the cold chain is equivalent to 1 day of shelf life. So what this means is that you need to deploy the cold storage facilities close to the farms in order to ensure that the farmers bring out their produce from the farms and they come immediately to your storage facility to ensure that the lifespan is increased. When you're able to achieve that first mile cold storage facility, you will significantly solve the inefficient food system problems that we are currently facing. And that's the thought process behind us trying to build solar powered solutions, because these solar powered solutions are usually deployed in rural communities where there's little or no electricity for the farmers to use. So even if a farmer can afford a cold storage solution, the farmer still struggles with electricity. So that's why first mile is key in the strategy of what we are trying to achieve. And that's why our solutions have to be off-grid. So regardless of grid availability, we have to be able to serve the farmers and generate significant revenue. Supply chain transparency and traceability is basically the fact that our facility basically interacts directly with the farmers. High value markets are able to track the produce from the origin, and this means you can be able to access high value markets, not just in Nigeria, across Africa, and even in Europe. E-commerce enabler. The reason why e-commerce is becoming really, really popular right now, but e-commerce struggles to thrive because most e-commerce businesses cannot assure their customers that they will get the produce they require at the expected quality. But with our cold storage solutions, we handle the supply chain and they're able to track the produce from farm to their doorsteps, and they are sure that they get the quality that they require. So all these things, our produce basically leads to a digitization of the perishable agricultural space, which is one place where e-commerce is currently lagging behind. Traction. So we started working on this project in 2020. Our parent company, Manamus Electric, is a solar installation business in Nigeria. We've installed over 200 solar installations across Nigeria since 2016 when we started operating. But in 2020, it was a pandemic year. We couldn't really work, so we spent most of 2020 indoors doing research and development, just the team. So we came up with lots of designs. We designed the blast freezer for livestock. We designed produce for. We designed the cold box store for fruits and vegetables. We designed ice makers. We designed a lot of products around cooling. Then we decided to face fruits and vegetable supply chain. So these are just some of the pictures of our designs, our 3D modeling when we actually get to have an actual project. So in 2021, when we decided to start implementing our designs, the first picture you can see on my screen is it's a fruit and vegetable market. So it's a 7.7 kilowatt solar array. Each of the solar panels you can see are about 430 watts. The solar panels leverage half-cell technology to ensure optimum efficiency. The next picture you can see on my screen is the exterior of the cold box store. That can store this particular facility can store up to 5 tons, 5,000 kg of fresh tomatoes, which is what you actually use it for. You can see the battery array that we used. Each of the batteries is 1.2 kilowatt hour. Then you can see the inverter. The next picture is also that's me standing there with the solar panels. Then above me, you can see one of my colleagues standing with the tomatoes that we are storing and from this facility serving high value markets. So yeah, how we plan to build Africa's largest network of cold storage solutions. I had to add this slide because when we say we are building Africa's largest network of cold storage solutions, people always ask me how, because this project we are doing is very, very expensive. Okay, it's not very, but significantly expensive. So how can an early stage startup with little or no revenue be able to achieve the goal of building Africa's largest network of cold storage solutions? Our approach is partnership. In addition to what we are currently doing, which is we raise our own money and we build facilities where our facilities are needed. Partnership is also going to be a key aspect of what we are trying to do. And one area of partnerships we plan to leverage is the solar powered mini grids. Nigeria is currently the biggest market for solar mini grids in Africa. An excess of $100 million has already been deployed solar powered mini grids across Nigeria within the past 4 years. Fortunately, our team comes from the solar energy background, so we know most of the mini grid developers and we are working to partner with them. These mini grid developers add a lot of value because mini grids in Nigeria are usually deployed in the rural communities where the grid is non-existent. So they come into the rural communities, they deploy mini grids, and they change the lives of the people living in those communities. The challenge these mini grid companies face is that they're still struggling to make their mini grids profitable. Imagine spending up to $1 million on a mini grid, and yet you're unable to recover your revenue because your facility, the people in that community, do not yet have the capacity to pay for all the electricity that you are generating. But imagine having a facility like ours that helps the farmers create wealth for themselves. So a cold storage facility like because these rural communities are where the farmers who produce 80% of the food we consume live. So if these farmers now rely on our facility to access high value market because they're able to store their facility longer and also inform our networks in urban areas and even outside Africa that we have these farmers that we have aggregated in this place, these farmers are creating wealth for themselves. And our facility, since it consumes quite some electricity, relies on the solar mini grids in these communities to pay for themselves, create wealth for the farmers, and also help mini grids become profitable. Helping mini grids become profitable means these mini grid developers would want to deploy mini grids in more communities, knowing that any community they are going to, they are going there with us, and we help them aggregate the farmers in that community and connect those farmers to high value markets. The picture by the right is a 100 kilowatt mini grid deployed by one of our partners, Cloud Energy. They are one of the leading mini grid developers in Nigeria and probably Africa at large. So second cold storage implementation. After the success of our first cold storage implementation, we deployed another one for a network of greenhouse farms in Lagos, Nigeria. So all the pictures you can see currently are Lagos, Nigeria. That's about 10 massive greenhouse farms. The facility by the left is 100% solar powered. They have about 10 kilowatts of solar there, and it can handle 15 tons of fruits and vegetables that are produced from the greenhouse farms. So currently we've done 2 major cold storage implementations, one in Enugu State, Nigeria, where we are operating from, the second one in Lagos, Nigeria, where we're operating from. And I'm sure that over time, we've already signed relevant contracts that by February next year would build 2 more, and over time we would achieve our goal of building Africa's largest network of cold storage solutions. And these cold storage solutions are operated through form an integrated cold chain that are operated through a digital infrastructure that enables us to solve the post-harvest losses problem currently faced in sub-Saharan Africa. Our project is also in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, while basically our project is related to basically the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We have 3 priority SDG goals. Our priority SDG goals are SDG 7, affordable and clean energy for all. So we leverage affordable and clean energy for all. We use it productively to solve the problem of hunger and good health, because we are what we eat, and our food has to be hygiene. Currently, about 90% of fresh produce consumed in Africa is distributed through open markets. Imagine a scenario where they do not have to go through those open markets, which some of them are subjected to very unhygienic circumstances. So meet the team. Adekoye Jokuje, our project lead. That's me, CEO. Sochima, digital product manager. Charles Aliozo, our project manager. Miracle, who handles produce distribution, and Nemo Chigozie, who handles operations, technical operations and maintenance of our project. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening to me, and it's the biggest honor of my life to win this award, and I'm really looking forward to working with the International Solar Energy Society and Elsevier and any other listeners on this call for the advancement of the projects we are building so we can scale across Africa. Thank you very much. So that will be all.
Uzo, and yeah, if you could stay with us for a few questions, that would be great. And congratulations, and thanks for telling us so much about the award and about your work. And yeah, it's no surprise to see the award going to such a strong winner, and it was a very competitive year this year. So congratulations. So you spoke very well, if I may start, about your project and the kind of work that your company's doing. But I wonder about you personally. How did this idea first come to you, and how did you go from just having that idea in your head to getting something off the ground in the first instance?
Well, we've been running the solar installation business for quite a few years. So we've been privileged to meet different sectors, from education to healthcare to agriculture. And one of the biggest challenges we've faced is people who run agri-businesses are unable to afford solar to power their cold storage solutions. So we decided, how can we make it more affordable? What if we're able to find a way to raise funding and build the facility? Then they do not need to own the facility, and they just pay for the cooling services rendered. So we decided that would be a great idea, and it's something we had been discussing about how to work in our team. Decided how to work on in our team. Sometime in 2020 we had the pandemic. In 2020 we had the pandemic, and we had issues getting work to do because everybody was forced to be indoors. So we had the time to work to do the R&D required. We spent months doing lots of research and development, learning about refrigeration, and we came up with designs that work. Then there was now the issue of funding. Funding became a problem. So unfortunately, we raised some money from an organization called Oxfam. It's an NGO for us to do like a proof of concept of our idea. We also got some little money from the United Nations Sustainable Energy for All. So then we also got loans from, we got solar panels on credit from one of our partners, Cloud Energy, the guys who built one of the biggest mini grid developers in Nigeria, who we work with. So we combined all these with the little resources we had, and we were able to build our pilot project in a fruit and vegetable market here in Nigeria, in Enugu State, Nigeria. So the project was really successful because people never believed that we could actually increase the shelf life of fresh produce like the tomato up to 30 days. But we're storing tomatoes there, and tomatoes were staying up to 30 days. The tomatoes never got spoiled. We kept making farmers more money. And the success of the project led us to being invited to work on building another for a network of greenhouse farms in Lagos, Nigeria. So we did that, and we now have 2 cold storage facilities to our name, and that's basically how an idea turned to an actual project.
Great, yeah, and that actually answered one of the questions one of our audience members had around financing there. So just you've spoken as well about your plans to expand across Africa. So I was just wondering, if you tell us a bit more about that. Have you got any work in? Have you got any links to other countries you're looking to start with? Any partners that you're looking to pair with?
Currently we are exploring working with partners in Kenya. Kenya is one African country we've been doing lots of research about, because the market in Kenya, the challenges we face in Nigeria are really similar to the challenges they face in Kenya, and it's a huge market. So our expansion across Africa starts with Kenya. We've been speaking to some mini grid developers in Kenya to see how we can work together. We've also been speaking with some refrigeration companies in Kenya who do not have the level of advancements we have, so we can work with them to help them scale what they are currently doing and form some kind. Of course, scaling across Africa will involve lots of partnership, which is something we are open to.
Great. And another question we've got here is around the fact that different foods obviously require different storage temperatures. So do you store foods in batches with the same kind of food or vegetables, or how do you manage that to balance the different needs of different foods?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's one challenge we faced. Different produce have different temperatures requirements. So what we decided to do was we do one value chain at a time. Like the current cold storage solution we do is specifically focused. Our pilot project is specifically focused on tomatoes, because we are operating it in a market. So while there's lots of products we can serve, we decide to support tomatoes. So that facility is basically a storage and distribution center for tomatoes. The second one we built in Lagos, that one has to be done in batches, because the different greenhouses support different products. We've signed some relevant contracts to build 2 more by January. The contract we signed to build 2 more by January, that would now take us to livestock, and we would focus on chicken. Of course, that would now on poultry, so that would now require us now going to -20 degrees. So essentially, we try to focus on the right value chain. We try to focus on the right value chain to ensure that any produce we focus on, we're able to deploy it at scale. That's also why most of our focus is on business customers who are able to accept high volumes of the produce we sell, we store and distribute.
Great. And another question we had just about that kind of making that first contact with farmers. If you could tell us a bit about that. Was there any trepidation? Were they unsure about it? How did you get over any concerns they may have, or was there just excitement? And how did that go?
This is a new technology, so of course it took lots of engagement to get them on board. The average farmer believes that cold storage has no role to play in his business. So in the early stages, we struggled to get farmers to agree to come and store their produce. Because when we started, the idea was to use pooling as a service where farmers just come and pay us to store. Of course, when we did financial modeling, we realized it was more profitable for us to just take the produce from the farmers and take them to high value markets. Of course, we give the farmers standards and tell the farmers what we expect of them for us to be able to take their produce. So once the farmers meet our standards, they are sure of a reliable market. So in times of glut, when there's excess produce in the market and farmers are struggling to sell, instead of them to waste the produce, they bring them to us because our facilities close to their farm. So they bring it. Once it meets the required quality, we buy it off from them, then connect it to the required market.
Okay, and another question we've got from John here in the audience. He's asking if there's any way that you could employ renewable energy in the transporting of produce from the cold store boxes to end users. Is there any potential there?
Yes, there is, and we already have designs for that. Actually, we just haven't raised the money to implement it, but I'm sure probably before we'll raise the money for that soon and we'll make it possible. But our strategy is to start with passive cooling. We already have partners with our partners G-Cover. I think they're even on this call. Our partners G-Cover, they're in Mexico. They've been able to build these thermal paints, which help us maintain the temperature. Like it builds the robustness of the high performance insulation that we've been able to come up with. So with high performance insulation in our refrigerated trucks, we are leveraging cold thermal storage. Cold thermal storage is essentially an ice bank. An ice bank, with the ice bank acts as a phase change material. So with the ice bank and the high performance insulation, you may not even need electricity. You just need to charge up the cold thermal storage before you move, and the cold thermal storage should be able to maintain the fresh produce for up to 24 hours. So it could get from one location to another. You charge it up, you put in the fresh produce, then you get to your new destination. So that's what we are currently doing. We thought about the possibility of mounting solar panels on the roof of the trucks, but the trucks just do not have enough space, and it also adds to the weight of the truck. So our current design for refrigerated transport is basically passive cooling. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're pretty much at time, so I'm going to wrap things up there and say, yeah, thank you very much for your application. Congratulations on the award, and yeah, we look forward to hearing more from you. As you can see, we like to hear from our previous winners, and we hosted an event earlier this year with our 2 previous winners. So hopefully we can check back in with you in 2 years and see how things have been going. But yeah, it's a pleasure to present this award to you. And just to let everybody on the call know, thank you for joining us. But we will be back with the 4th edition of the Renewable Transformation Challenge in 2023. So yeah, we'll see you all back here in 2 years. Before we wrap up, I'd just like to offer Dave, our lead judge, if there's anything else he'd like to add at this point.
No, I think that was a really interesting presentation, and I look forward, Uzo, to having more discussions with you as you go forward, and best of luck as you proceed with this very important technology and business plan that you've presented to us.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been an honor to win this award, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm the first African to win it, so it means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you
very much, Uzo. And yeah, thank you to all the attendees, and thank you also to Peter, Klaus, and of course to Dave for your words of introduction. And thanks to Jenny at ISES and all the team that puts these webinars together. And thanks to everybody across the whole of the team on the RTC itself. So thank you very much. Congratulations once again to Cold Box Store, and thank you everybody for joining.